That was on. The other thing I watched last night that I know that you guys are not fans, or you're just a casual fan. Last night, Survivor Series was on, and it was on in Los Angeles, right? And the actual matches and stuff, we'll let Ryan Satin and Roka break that down on Pro Wrestling Sheet. But this is very interesting to me what happened last night. And I want to get all your thoughts on this. So Ronda Rousey, who is easily one of the biggest stars in
the world.
What's how is it? Your mic's on back there, guys.
Do you know that every time you say Ronda Rousey, you do this thing with your hands?
No.
Ronda Rousey.
But Ronda Rousey,
I've heard of her.
Who is, again, arguably one of the biggest mixed martial arts stars that ever have been. And she transitioned into WWE flawlessly. Now, her promos have been getting better. Her in-ring stuff has really gotten better, and she has become a top performer. She has gotten her matches are like must-watches on pay-per-views, and they were like getting a lot of hype, and obviously because of her past. And the matches have just been some of the most exciting stuff that has happened so far.
So you think she's less stiff, or the stiffness isn't bothering you
I think she's
as
less
much?
stiff. Okay. Oh yeah. She was stiff in the beginning. Like I was worried about her hurting other wrestlers, right? But you see that she's learned. She's a pro. My stuff is not with that. Last night something really strange happened. She's, as we call in the Schmoedown and in wrestling, a baby face is a good guy, a heel is a bad guy. So Ronda Rousey went in as she's the champion of Monday Night Raw. She went in as the face, okay? And she was going in she was supposed to fight Becky Lynch, who right now is like the basically what Stone Cold Steve Austin was back in the 90s. She is huge right now, and it's the first time I think ever in WWE where I could say that the main star of all WWE is a woman.
Yeah.
And
everybody's saying that right now.
She is absolutely the crowd response that she gets, the types of cheers she gets, but she got a concussion on last Monday night, forced her out against Ronda Rousey. So then Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte Flair, fought. Charlotte Flair wound up going heel last night, hitting Ronda Rousey with a chair, getting disqualified, doing all this stuff, and the crowd booed Ronda Rousey unmercifully. Like, it was brutal. Like, Los Angeles, she's from California, or at least that's where she resides, and it was, you could see her face. I was texting with Jay Washington last night and Ryan Satin, but I didn't understand why LA turned on her, right? And like, she's walking out, and you see this look. It looked like a real, like they say, a shoot. They looked real. She could not believe why the crowd was, because the crowd was supposed to be cheering for her and getting all psyched up, but they were booing her. And it was really, really weird. I don't know if anybody watched last night.
Do you think it's because they love Charlotte so much, and that's why, or what are your theories?
I think that it's a couple of things. And again, I think that the Wrestling Sheet guys are really going to break it down, Roka and Satin. But I think that the first thing is because Becky Lynch was supposed to fight. They were excited for her to fight. She didn't. So they would have been cheering for Becky Lynch over Ronda Rousey also, because of the way it's very similar to what happened with Stone Cold Steve Austin back in like the late 90s in the Attitude Era, when the bad guy, because remember when we were kids, it was Hulk Hogan, Ricky Steamboat, the good guys were the ones who everyone rooted for. And then with times, the audience changed, and the Stone Cold Steve Austin, the guy flipping people off, cursing, drinking beer, represented more of what the audience really was more than anything, and they cheered for him. I think Becky Lynch is starting to go into that, and she's supposed to be bad, but people don't care. They are really loving what she's doing, and Ronda Rousey's more like the old school baby face, comes out, smiles all the time.
But why would they boo Ronda when Becky wasn't even playing?
Because because they're pissed off she wasn't there. They wanted to see her, and then because Becky Lynch appointed Charlotte Flair to represent her, it's still part of her team.
Yeah.
I guess. And the other thing is too, maybe. So Roman Reigns, for those who aren't wrestling fans, was a wrestler who was getting pushed down people's throats, really, and pushed into the main event, and the audience resisted it, and he was supposed to be a face, and they booed him. And I think that Ronda Rousey deserves a little bit more respect than in that aspect, because I think she's been doing really well inside the ring. So
Did you feel bad for her?
I did a little bit. Yeah, I did feel bad for her. But, I mean, I got it on one side of things, but it was just really fascinating that they turned on her because I've seen other events where they've been going crazy for her, like just nuts. And I don't know where the shift came. But it's just see, I think that doesn't even necessarily have to be. You don't have to be a wrestling fan. And, you know, there's probably people in watching right now going, "Oh, they're talking about wrestling, move on." But it's more about a fascinating thing to me, like that shift. Like, isn't it? I mean, you don't have to be a wrestling fan, but that's interesting, no?
It's interesting, and it's interesting when I start to notice it, because I'm not a wrestling fan. I don't follow along this, and I saw a huge reaction on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? Why are people mad at Ronda Rousey?
Right.
Like, because I saw Satin's tweet. He's like, this is weird. Why is everybody booing her? Like, this doesn't make sense. They were saying like, nah, hey, blah, blah. They're like, to get her out of there. And I'm like, why? I thought she was a face. I thought she was cool.
I don't know why. Is Satin in the office?
I haven't seen him.
Who are you asking?
Hear him. Hold on, let me find him. Hold on.
All right. Because if he's in the, I would like to get his.
I'd love that.
No,
I'd
I
like to
don't-
get his. Like,
I don't
no,
think
he's
he's
not
here
here.
yet.
Okay.
What time do people get here?
I don't know. I think I'm supposed to go to Monday Night Raw with him tonight.
We just
so I hope he
roll
gets
in
here.
whenever.
Really?
Yeah, I'm supposed to go to Raw. I want to. And because of that last night, I've gone to a few. Remember when I worked for WWE leading up to that, I was a huge fan. I mean, knew all the history, knew everything. When I stopped working for them, I stopped paying attention altogether. But because of Schmoedown over the last 2-3 years, I started getting back into it.
Yeah.
I've been to 3, I think, WWE events since. And I've enjoyed them the same way. But I think that this one I'm really looking forward to because of what we just talked about.
Yeah.
And I want to see how Ronda responds or how they're going to write her to respond. You know, like, are they going to turn her heel? Like, what are they going to do?
I was just going to say, is she going to go heel then? Is she going to come out and go, you know what? Fuck you. And just like throws it up? There's one,
Maybe,
by the
but
way.
here's the
Feels a
thing.
little soon.
Oh man.
But here's the reason why I think maybe not, because the girl that she's fighting next, this girl Nia Jax, who's like this, she's The Rock's cousin, I think, and so she is under a lot of heat right now because she's the one who gave Becky Lynch a concussion. She, like, if you see the clip, she legit punched Becky Lynch, broke her face, and gave her like bloody nose and concussion, right? And she got a lot of shit from the fans. So they're fighting.
Kind of deserved. but-
Yes, of course, because you got to be careful
Yeah.
there. This is your star attraction. You got to be careful, and some people think that it was done on purpose.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. You got to protect the star, and that's not what happened. And the fans really let her have it last night. So I think that the fans would support Ronda over her, but who the hell knows? It's it was very fascinating to me why the audience changed. And I'm curious if it was just a different audience. Like maybe tonight when Ronda comes out, the fans like cheer her. I don't know.
I kind of think after last night, more people have fuel to cheer her.
You would think, unless they catch on and go, you know what? Because it's a mob mentality sometimes, right? Maybe it's the other side of it.
That's why I feel like probably happened last night, like night of mob mentality. But I think most people, from who I've talked to so far, most people are like, what the F was that?
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was really weird because she didn't do anything she actually did everything to get cheers from. Like, she was attacked in the locker room. She came out to represent. She was excited to be in California to represent where she's from, and they just weren't having it. It was bizarre.